This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Hello Antigua Barbuda, welcome again to another in the series Mastering Mathematics. Yesterday we sent you home where we were just completing an examination question, and today we said that we're going to teach you something else. Again, Mastering Mathematics is a program sponsored by the Ministry of Education using its EBU unit and the Center for Mathematics Education and ABS Television. Again, my studio audience had such fun that they are back and we are willing to go, because they are saying, Miss Weston, you can't keep us in suspense. So we want to know how to do this question. And without any ado, because we know what we said yesterday, we knew right away that we're using the whole template for the graphs to make certain that that is the vector. You heard that one of those guys went out in the boat and then it was the French helicopter that gave them the coordinates. That is what they're using, the vector. This is where this whole information is used in the real world, where we're plotting things. If you're in the desert and you're lost or anything, somebody can just track you down by saying these coordinates are so and so, and you can go along and you get your stuff. So it is in that realm. But for our exam, these are the little things that we're going to get on our examination paper. But in real world situation, yes, somebody lost at sea, we can be phoning back and saying, where are you? And they can give you these position, that's why it's called the position vector. So they can say right away, where are you located? And they can come right away and track you. So that is how important these things are. Okay. Now, so we are familiar with our terms position vector. We are familiar with our terms the horizontal and vertical aspect of it, okay? Now, I want to tell you that in terms of finding a question where we were asked to find PQ, we are missing a little information, and so we have to tell our students. And that information is saying that every vector question can be solved using a triangle. Every vector question can be solved using a triangle. Now, how do we get our triangle? And I'm going to tell you. Now, I'm not familiar too much with and Antigua Girls High School is on one straight road, but let me see how I'm going to tell you. If we are going up to the market, I don't know town, but I know Pace Secondary School, so I can tell you about that. Or anytime you're coming out of any road, if we're coming up the road, you can go up, then you go across, and then so you're forming an L, okay, to get to a position. So here, if this is your home, and you're going to Shaw's, because Shaw's having sale right now, okay? So you come up, you get out of your home, you're walking here, and you're coming right along here, and we're getting there, okay? Now, this is our origin, and so that's the direction, But then somebody says, girl, you don't have to go all that road. Look, there's a shortcut across here. So instead of going here and going here, you're just dashing and just taking the shortcut coming across here. So for comprehensive, you'll be walking through some pasture, you would say, to get down into Green Bay or Hatton, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Yes, so you're cutting across the pasture, George, whatever pasture, to go across. Any shortcut in the world you have, okay, I'm going to tell you there's a name for that shortcut. That shortcut in terms of the vector is called the resultant. Okay? So anything I'm saying, that is like the shortcut, and it is called the resultant. Okay, it is called the resultant. Why are they calling it's the resultant? Because you see right away, it's like and it's not a right angle triangle, but it looks as if it represents the hypotenuse for the right angle triangle, okay? And even in your trigs where you're saying opposite and adjacent and angles like that. But this is the resultant because one of these sides will be called side 1, and the second side will be called side 2. Okay, so one side is called side 1, the other side is called side 2. Listen carefully. The sides go in the same direction. The arrows are on them to show you that if you're leaving from O to A, and then you travel along B. Okay, look at how the arrows are going. So you see that this arrow at the back is coming to fit into that arrow in front like that. We see that? Yes. Okay. Now, what is happening with the resultant, the side that we are calling the resultant, is that it is coming in the opposite direction. You see that? Because you're saying, hey, I'm not going so wrong, I'm not going all around this world here, okay? I'm just going to run across like that. And when you do that, you're into your resultant. And so the resultant then is like when you're going to meet up two noses. Is that right? Okay, so you're just going to put up. So you know in Juve, when somebody going down and you're holding your shoulder, and then the next group coming up. So the group coming up to meet you, they would be called the resultant, okay? So again, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Any little shortcut will give us our resultant. Because what it means is that you're saying, I am not walking all the way around here. There's just one straight line. So it's like the diagonal. Okay, and that is why they will say now that it will form what we'd be calling the parallelogram. Okay, but we are just saying every vector question can be solved using a triangle. Now here, so we have, it is the resultant. So once we know side 1, side 2, and we have the resultant, so we have 3 components in the triangle. And it's only 2 formulas you have to know. And here what the formulas are. One, that the resultant is equal to side 1 plus side 2. Okay? Resultant is equal to, right, that side 1 plus side 2. Okay. Now notice that our side 1 would be one of our position vectors that we have been given. We understand? So you see here it was OA. You see that? And it is now plus, and this other one up here would have been AB. Okay, and the resultant here would have been going from OB, right? So this is what we'll be calling the resultant. So side 1 plus side 2. Now the second formula comes out of the first one, because the second formula would only be asking us to find one of the sides. Okay, and it will always be the resultant minus the other side. Okay, let's go again. For the resultant, so the resultant is the sum of 2 sides. So that if we want to find one of the sides, it will be taking out the one side that we know from the sum. Okay? So for example, this is what I'm saying. If I had the resultant S1, so OA, let's use OP, because you just told me what they were. So OP, and I had OQ plus OQ, okay? I don't know if this is necessarily how the resultant goes over here, but this is what we're saying. If I had to find the resultant here, I can take off the diagram now because we know what the diagram looks like. So we're just going to use that because today we want to talk about how we are using the formula, okay? So if I have the resultant now is equal to side 1 plus side 2, and side 1 is OP, and it is plus OQ. What did you tell me the position vector of OP was? 2, 4. And then it is plus, what is OQ?
8, 2.
8, 2. And because we have done a little matrices, we know about in our addition that what? The things in the same positions are added together. All right? And it holds for the vector too. So we right away, teachers, you're teaching them the addition rule 1 time too. And you're associating it with what they do know already. So it would be 2 plus 8 would give you 10. And 4 plus 2 would give us 6. Okay? Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, because I heard somebody say, 6. Oh. So the resultant here is equal to 10, 6. Now, suppose it was a side 2 we wanted to find, and we knew the resultant was this, and we only had the information for side 1. That is what I'm talking about. To say, how would we find OQ? And this. So exactly. So ST2 would be equal to 10, 6, and it's minus 2, 4. Exactly. And it's equal to 8, 2. And isn't that what we know? Yes, that is what you got for your answer. And that is all we're telling you. All right? It is as easy as that. You want to tell me something? The heart of the vector question finish already. You understand? There's not much more to learn in the vectors for the examination. I will tell you about collinearity and let a scale or something, and the magnitude. But this is the heart of the thing. To find the position vector, and then to say that you can identify when you're given what they have given you, you can say which is my sides, okay, or which line is a side, and which is the resultant. So then I am coming back to draw the triangle, because you're going to do that question with PQ. Is it time for a break, sir? That we're saying, okay, so just before, because we've told you a lot of things, get them in your little brain together. I know the audience is so saying, Miss Weston, run well off just because you have people with her in our audience, you know. So when we come back, we're going to go slowly for them and let them see that they too can be at the same point with you, but you're going to give me the answer for PQ, because I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. All right? Okay, so cameraman, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Don't look on what I cannot do. Focus on what I can do. I may not say what I do, but I can hear and feel it I strongly.
I may not hear, but that does not and should not affect my ability to learn and to function in the real world.
I am a gifted student. I need the opportunity to soar. Support me in my climb to higher levels of learning.
Some of our children have special educational needs. They have a right to an education. So let us teach them the way that they learn and help them to achieve their full potential.
Carefully read over the sections of your textbook assigned by your teacher and look carefully at the sample problems. Decide if you benefit more by reading before or after the instructor covers the material.
Complete all readings and especially homework assignments as soon as possible after they are announced. And definitely complete all assignments before new material is covered. This ensures that the information is fresh in your mind and linked to more basic concepts previously learned. Do your assignments early enough to allow you to get help with the things you do not understand.
Right, so we're back, and yes, we are workers, and we are ready to go. What did we just learn a while ago? Number one, we know what is position vector. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, position vectors. And number two, we are telling you that we're using triangles to solve our side problems. Okay? Outside problems. Now we say when we're using the vector for our triangle, when we're using triangles in terms of our vectors, we are looking at three things. We are looking to find, what did we say we are looking to find? Side and resultant. Okay, so here we go. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to call that A, I'm going to call that B, I'm going to call that C. And we said right away that in terms of anything, that the sides must fit in to one another, and then the resultant will be coming in the opposite direction. Now, you see, when I was at Pace and I was teaching this topic, I would tell them they have some boys in that class who think they can drive now. So Ivor take up his father car and meet Junie down here. And they say they're going for a drag, all right? So watch them going down the road, think they can drive fast. And this poor little old man coming home, quiet and nice. And they just ram into the poor old man, crash his car. So the two cars go, so that is why you see that is the big resultant. You know? Yeah, the big resultant. Think they can drive, lose all hope. You see, nurse comes, that's why we valued your work in your day, because you now have to go and take up this crap, because poor mothers come in and crying and holding the belly, all right? Because Ivan and Junie just crashed a while ago, okay? So that is why we're grateful and thankful for people like you. In my triangle here now, what would AB represent?
Side one.
It's one of the sides, yes. And what would AC represent?
The resultant.
It would represent the resultant. Why is it the resultant?
Because it's coming up opposite.
It's going in the opposite direction. How are you telling children they can't learn mathematics and mathematics hard? Anything in this mathematics? You see how easy the children saying the things? Take your time and teach them. Show them what they're accustomed to. You see how good they reacted to this little racing? Because they know about racing, so tell them. Okay? Right. They like to thief people's car around this place. And June and I would say, what? My daddy not looking? And they're gone. Next minute they get in a phone call, your son crashed my car down here. Okay? And this old man, he was going home in the opposite direction. Right, okay? And that is what happened. So this is one of our sides. So we are now going to draw back the triangle we had here, coming from our exam question. And you are going to tell me what PQ represented, if it was a side or resultant, and you're going to find that for me. Now, let me put it on the board so that you can see. So where we had our axis, and we were going here, and you had P. Okay, so P in here, that was O, and over here, that was Q. Okay, and remember we're saying where we are walking from, that's where the arrow is going. So I'm not even leaving it at the end, I'm showing you. And then this is coming down here, so this is walking from here, that is going here. This is Q, and the first letter they call mean that's the direction in which they're going, all right? Okay, now talk to me about this, because you know it's three things for our triangle. What is OP?
OP is one of the sides.
It's one of the sides, okay? What is PQ?
PQ is one of the sides.
Oh my gosh, man. That's why I want to teach the whole of Antigua mathematics. 10 minutes and you know your whole topic. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. And so, what is OQ?
Resultant.
All right. Oh, boss. Oh my, don't leave me. And that is the resultant. So, if I wanted to find PQ, what would it be equal to?
PQ would be equals to OP.
To O? It's not OP. What is the resultant?
OQ.
So it's OQ minus what? OP. But say it with confidence now. Let's not shaky. Let me just rub off the thing again. Oh, I'm kind of picking them here. Oh, what is this? The ice cream maybe run out. Oh, no. We have to go buy my friend Manso and get some. Now, here we go again. What is OQ? Sorry, we have to find PQ. So you know we're going with PQ. Now in your little brains, you've already worked out and seen PQ is one of the side. So you know your formula coming up must be resultant minus other side. Isn't that true? Yeah. So talk ball, man. What is the resultant?
OQ.
Minus OP. And do we know the values of OQ?
The values of OQ is 8, 2.
And what is the value of OP? 2
and 4.
2 and 4. Can we not find PQ?
Yes, we can.
Yes. What's the answer? 6 and negative 2. 6 and negative 2. That's it. That's it. Now I wanted to show you something even easier here again. This was P, this was 2, 4. Listen carefully, you can still do it even from your diagram. And Q, that was 8, 2. Now you decide which number you're going to work with first, okay? And then if you're going to start from Q down here, use your X's, you understand? And you can say 8 minus 2 would have given you 6. And you started with this first bracket, so you're going to still continue this first bracket. So it's 2 minus 4 would have given you negative 2. So that is what I thought you were going to tell me for that one. So that is another way too that you can do it, okay? Because it's a distance you're finding, understand? But you know, side plus side equals resultant. And the resultant is, any of the other side is equal to resultant minus the other side. Friends, that's your first lesson in mathematics in terms of the vectors. And watch here, 2, 4, 6 marks already from the stuff, okay? And the other thing coming up is easy too, because they're saying given that OP is equal to RQ, determine the coordinates of point R. These little things. So now we know you're in the heart. By the end of next week, you're going to know your vector. All right, we're going to know our vector. And you see right away you're on the exam questions. That is what it is. So what would we tell people about mathematics?
It's easy.
It's easy, but what do we have to do? We must learn our information. Okay, and practice, because we have to know where to apply the information that we have learned. Okay, and you must have a passionate teacher too. You know what I mean? You don't want to sleep in a class. No, right? Because you want to learn the stuff. You want to know when you go home you feel good. Hold your chest up a little more, okay? Because we can go. And please remember that we can get all these things on our website, because we are not making any joke. We're making certain that we have our website, masteringmathematics.com. You can go there and you can see stuff in it. And then it's also on YouTube, okay? So you can go youtube.com/mastering mathematics. Then we still go a bit further and put it on Facebook, because we know a lot of you go on the Facebook. So it is facebook.com/mastering mathematics. Facebook.com/mastering mathematics. Yes, we are going to make certain that the whole of Antigua knows mathematics, and that it is a subject that can be learned. And again, if we haven't taught them the information, they can't know it. How many minutes it took you to know that? Not even a second. All right? So, from all of us here at ABS Television, and from JETA, right here, EBU Unit and Mathematics Research Center, and for my beautiful students, what are we going to tell the people outside there? Have a good evening, and we will see you next time. Oh, okay, we'll see you soon, they said. They didn't know that they could come on the television program. Miss Weston just plucked them out there, because, you know, I'm crazy Auntie Karen already, all right? So that is what it's going to be. Thank you very much, and do continue to enjoy Mastering Mathematics. And the evening belongs to Nurse Combs, all right?
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.